Mo Flava on 947.
So a mate of mine and his wife are out traveling this weekend. They're going on a bit of a road trip, taking advantage of the long weekend. So they were bragging about it. They're going down to KZN, they're going to the Midlands, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, then they were like, listen, since you're a DJ, give us some music to play on the road, that kind of thing. I always get that. And I said, no, it's fine. I'll put together a playlist. But actually, I thought to myself, no, hang on. Let me give them albums. Because then, it extends the listening time as opposed to coming up with 100 singles. So I'm like, let me give them albums. So then I said, okay, no, it's fine. I'll put one together. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if I'm going to be putting an album playlist together, it's got to be a playlist of the greatest albums of all time. Right? It can't just be nje. So I'm thinking to break it down genre by genre. So for instance, in my view, the greatest hip-hop album of all time is Tupac Shakur's All Eyez on Me. It was actually his last album to be released during his lifetime, at least. And if anything, this is the one song that is a smash from there. I mean, this album is iconic. In my view, it is the greatest hip-hop album of all time. Seriously. I mean, everyone is in there. Dr. Dre, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Redman, Method Man, Nate Dogg.
A state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Pack a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state.
Oh, they're going to love that on the N3.
The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money-making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game.
So certainly Tupac Shakur's All Eyez on Me. I'm putting that on the playlist as an album that they can jam to on their trip. Then I'm thinking to myself, right, because it's a couple, we got to kind of like add to the mood, So I thought, no, hang on. Let me also add an R&B album. But like the greatest R&B album of all time. Now, this is all very subjective, right? But it doesn't matter. I think that Boyz II Men's Evolution album is the greatest R&B album of all time.
When I get the courage up to love somebody new, it always falls apart cause they just can't compare to you. Yellow won't release me, I'm bound under ball and chain. Reminiscing of love as I watch for seasons. Reflections, the air and just the snow.
Oh, they're going to fall in love all over again with this album, I can assure you. So this is one of my favorite songs from that Evolution album by Boyz II Men, 4 Seasons of Loneliness. So, yeah, and when you look at this weather in most parts of Gauteng, it kind of says play a bit of R&B if you can. Yeah? So yeah, as far as R&B, I think that Boyz II Men album is the greatest R&B album of all time. I did leave out one genre. Let me quickly share that before I get your take, right? I love house music, obviously. For me, like the best house project ever released is Fresh House Flavor 4 by DJ Fresh. as they get closer to the Midlands, then they can start pumping it up a bit. You know what I'm saying? This for me is the best house project to come out, honestly. Okay, so these are some of the albums that I have now put on this playlist that I'm putting together for this couple going on the road trip. Now, I'm going with the angle of the greatest albums of all time. If I give you the ropes and said, listen, add an album to this playlist that you think is the greatest album of all time, what would you add on this playlist? Let me know.
947.
When you think GOAT and you close your eyes, the first image that comes to mind is Lionel Messi. Or maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Or Diego Maradona, right? But do the same with music. The greatest album of all time. In your view, you know, that album that has like incredible replayability. Hard to skip a song. There's no song that's just filling a blank space. Every song has purpose. An album that's got like a cultural impact. It changed the world. It shifted something. Eh? That's what I'm talking about. And the three that I mentioned certainly did. Of course, very different, moving from house music to R&B and even hip-hop with Fresh House Flavor 4 and Boyz II Men's Evolution and even Tupac's album that really just, you know, took the world by storm. And obviously, it's albums that are never forgotten. So what's on your list?
So my best album of all time would have to be Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Best album.
Yeah.
It had Tell Me. It had Nothing Even Matters with the incomparable D'Angelo. It had To Zion. It had X Factor. Just so many classics all in one album. And that's all she ever really needed to release. So Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
I'm actually even tempted to replace my Boyz II Men with that album. I'm tempted to say, okay, Boyz II Men, hang on. Sorry, guys, not your turn yet. Let me replace that album, Evolution, with Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. Because it's unskippable, hey?
Hey, good morning, Mo. I trust you're good on this cold Thursday. Well, I don't have much to add except for what you've mentioned. So the Evolution album of Boyz II Men is certainly the way to go for your friend, because love songs help couples feel more connected, even without talking. So they also create a calm, warm atmosphere in the car, making the journey feel less rushed and more enjoyable, especially during long drives or scenic routes. So, in my opinion, what you've selected this far is certainly the way to go.
My best album of all time, the first one I ever bought was Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On, 2001.
Oh, yeah, I remember that album.
Shop Fitty, this is Zico. My best album of all time has to be Black Star by Mos Def and Talib Kweli. 1, 2, 3. It's kind of dangerous to be an MC.
Listen, some people call it backpacker hip-hop. You know, that's my kind of hip-hop, and absolutely, I'm all for that album.
My favorite album of all time is a bit of a weird one, but I feel like even though it was released as far back as 2017, it holds up, and it is Sire by Jaden Smith.
Okay, interesting choice. Everyone in the studio is looking at me like, what did he just say? I'll actually go see what songs are on there. And I would imagine that album has an unfair advantage because every album that's been mentioned so far are albums from like the 90s, the early 2000s. So already there's like a huge generational misfit and a mismatch. But all the same, the greatest album of all time, in your opinion, for whatever the reason,
947.
we're putting together a playlist of the greatest albums of all time, right? Especially for long trips, amongst other experiences that go well with music. And of course, there are many reasons why. A lot of people also talk about sales and whatever. Perhaps that could be a metric, but I mean, if you think about it, quality over quantity, yeah? Then you start to look at things a little differently.
So my current favorite album is Chance the Rapper, The Big Day. That is the album my husband and I listened to all the way to the Drakensberg on our way to our honeymoon back in 2023.
So after a lot of soul searching, I don't think it's my favorite album, but I literally cannot pick one. But if I were to choose like my top 5 of all time, I think Maroon 5's Songs About Jane would be in there. And that's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really absolutely loved that album when it came out like 100 years ago. And I don't know why, but I can't think of anything else from back in the day. But yeah, I think that would be in my top 5 albums of all time. If I were to choose one, I literally cannot think of. It's too much pressure. So for now, let's go with Maroon 5's Songs About Jane as an all-time favorite and a personal go-to. Yeah, hope that helps. Ciao, bye.
Yeah, it does help. And thanks for that voice note, Roshika. I'm very disappointed in you. As somebody who works at Universal Music, I would have expected more on your list. Do better, girl.
Hey, how's it, guys? Great show. Well, best album, my best album of all time. I think I'm going to show my age here. And this is because of personal reasons. So I think it has to be Jay-Z Blueprint 3. And that's only because that was my first CD. If you guys still remember CDs before all these streaming apps. My first CD I ever got, or my mother bought me, was Blueprint 3 by Jay-Z. And I played that thing throughout the year. So yeah, I think that's my best album of all time. Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Empire State of Mind, Young Forever, Run This Town. Those are just some of the hits from that particular album. And yes, sometimes it's about what was happening in your life at that moment that kind of then drew you closer to a particular body of music or a body of work that somebody put together, and then it all just comes together. And you know what they say about music? It's like wine. It ages gracefully over time, yeah?
My favorite album of all time is a bit of a weird one, but I feel like even though it was released as far back as 2017, it holds up, and it is Sire by Jaden Smith.
Yeah, the reason I'm playing that voice note is because it came in a little earlier. So Jaden Smith is not exactly somebody who's on my radar as far as greatest albums are concerned. But they did drop a couple of albums, one of them being Sire, yes. And songs like Watch Me are on there as well. So maybe that's probably the reason why Sire became a bit of a thing in their world. Also, that song Icon, remember? That also came out as well. But I mean, that's about it, man. That's about it. You don't agree? You think Jaden Smith's album was the one, DX? Seriously? All right. To each their own.
947